Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chit Chat, a podcast where I pretty much talk about anything under the sun. And on today's episode, I am joined by the immaculate Shyann.
Don't make me blush.
Now, we've known each other for a while.
Yeah.
And we used to work in retail together, right?
Yeah. Look at us now.
Hey,
Shout out to
retail.
Arrow.
Oh my gosh. Right. So, how have you been?
I've been doing all right. I guess I can't complain because we're in the middle of a pandemic, but I wish I could be doing more, you know?
Yeah.
I'm a Capricorn, so.
You are a Capricorn.
Yeah,
That is
so listen,
weird.
I'm always.
I attract Capricorns.
What's your sign?
I'm a Gemini.
I love Gemini. And it's crazy because,
Really?
like, usually they say Geminis and
Capricorns
Capricorns
don't.
but I'm always. What's the rest of your chart?
I have Sun, Gemini, Moon, Cancer. Oh, my ascendant is a Capricorn.
And you're a Cancer. You're my sister sign.
Really?
Yeah, so
that is
Capricorn,
why.
Cancer.
Because it's really funny too. Because I say we aren't supposed to get along, but all I attract are Capricorns.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, usually people don't like Capricorn, so I'm blessed to be here. Thank you.
Period. So, yes, we are in the middle of a pandemic, unfortunately. And how has that impacted you? You know, your business. I know you're into, you're creative director, right? You do some creative directing.
Yeah.
You do some modeling, right? In other videos?
I want to say I'm retired. I'm a retired model, video vixen.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little retired. It was like a short-lived career.
Okay. Any reason?
I like power. I'm a Capricorn, so I don't like people telling me what to do. And modeling, there's a lot of like creative freedom to it, but when you're in the video world and you're doing music videos, there's a lot of working on other people's time, and there's a lot of exploitation in that.
Oh, I feel that.
That field. You get to look sexy, but it's
Yeah.
I don't like people telling me what to do.
I'm with you in the whole power situation. That's why I like doing things not by myself, but like for myself. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like trying to build this and whatnot, because I like being in control of my own narrative.
Yes.
So I very much, I completely understand where you're coming from. And if you know, because it is something that I wanted to talk to you about. If you want to spill a little bit of the tea in regards to the whole video vixen modeling situation, because it is something that you hear about, that it involves a lot of exploitation from, you know, their creatives and the subjects, them being the models.
Yeah.
So what is the tea behind that? I was a bit interested in this world.
I would say that because it's such a oversaturated business, like the entertainment field is, everyone wants to be in it.
Yeah.
So everyone's replaceable. So when everyone's replaceable, people take advantage of that, and it's a male-dominated field, as in like the males dominate the more power roles, like the directors and the artists, and then a lot of times you see the women as the models or the actresses. I mean, specifically in the video vixen world, where you usually use as props rather than actual roles, actual people. Even my more serious gigs, I feel like they were even worse than the less serious gigs, you know? You know, I've been on set for like 13 hours and they weren't feeding us, or like we're like in the sun for like 13 hours and no one like comes and checks on us, but we're expected to be our best in front of camera, and our makeup's supposed to be perfect still, and no one's checking on our makeup, no one's checking if we ate, if we're fatigued, and it's just a very easy to get lost in the sauce kind of field, you know?
A little also unprofessional,
Yes.
may I say.
Yes, very. It can get really unprofessional real quick.
Wow.
Real quick.
That's crazy, because you see too, especially in this industry of entertainment, things, at least how they're portrayed, it is there is this glamour to it. But once you really get into it, you realize the nitty gritty, the sus behind everything.
Yes, listen. Everyone wants to sleep with you. Like the amount of blue checks that like are like, oh, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. You know, here's my hotel, or it's not a nice feeling.
Yeah, I can just imagine. That's really cool.
Thank you to Playboy Bunny.
Nice.
It was Icy by Aisha. I think that's her thing. Ice by Aisha. She's in Hackettstown. She does 2 gems for cheap.
Okay, I might be hitting her up.
And it's real, like it's legit. Like she doesn't, no nail glue. It's like, listen, it's legit. I can link her out, you know, when this airs.
Nice. And you know, so you've been in this sort of, you've been in front of the camera. So is your aspiration now to be behind the camera in creating?
Yes.
Or do you also want to like find a balance between being in front and behind?
Actually, yeah, I would prefer to be in front and behind. Someone who I really admire this stage of my life is Issa Rae. And how she writes, she directs, but she also stars in a lot of her stuff. And Michaela Cole, I don't know, she's an English actress.
Oh,
writer.
gum.
Yes. Bubble. What's it? Gum.
Chewing gum.
That's it. Yes.
Love
She's
her.
a genius.
She is a genius. I have such a question for her. Oh my god. She's so awesome.
She's just so like you want to gravitate to. She has a new show.
Really?
Called I May Destroy You. It's like it's a roller coaster. Like she wrote it, she directed it, and she's the main
that's
star.
amazing,
yeah,
dude.
it's like that's the people that I kind of look towards. There's other women in the industry, but yeah, I would love to.
And I love her too because she really tries to branch out in the form of, you know, she likes to help people. I remember I was watching one of her interviews and she was like, I've been in this field. I've dealt with big names and big companies.
Yeah,
and
sorry to interrupt. Who you're talking about, Michaela or Isa? Okay.
Michaela. And she was saying, so from this point where I am at, I want to demystify and sort of help out people who are coming, because when I started, she was explaining, when I started, she didn't know anything. She didn't even know what a script really looked like.
Yeah.
So she, I remember on Twitter, she posted like a Google Drive of like her script for chewing gum. Just like saying, here, take this as an example, go, you know, write your own stuff because now you know what a script looks like and that sort of situation. So I love her for that.
Yeah, because so many people keep that so hush, hush, quiet, and it's not. It shouldn't be like that, you know. Because writing a script, from going to film school, from going to the music video industry where I'm being a personal assistant, a director's assistant, doing production and working video vixen. So then being in this professional field of filmmaking, writing a script, producing, finding money, finding sponsors. Like for someone to like just be like, okay, here you go. Here's a template. Like that's such a that's such a nice thing to do, especially because it's such a like elitist, classist kind of industry.
It really is. Like it's really about who you know.
Yes.
And what you, especially when it comes to finding sponsors for your work and finding funding for your work.
Yeah.
It is very much like a who you know sort of situation. And so you you went to film school?
Yeah, like, I dropped out yesterday. I'm still like I'm in the process of dropping out. It was such a beautiful experience, but I realized that maybe in this time of my life, I don't feel like I have the time to write films. Because, I mean, or produce or direct film. Maybe direct films, but not produce and write films. And you have to do the whole thing in film school. And each week it's a project. And I'm just like, I don't have time. I love music videos. They're like 2 to 5 minutes long. Yeah. You get the point across.
Some music videos have more of a story than some.
The movies. And you're there for 2 hours, and people take years and years and years to write a movie.
It is a process.
And we're expected to write like these short stories, short movies, and they're just uninspiring to me.
I feel that. Especially like once you delve into like the movies that you like watching, you're going to realize that some of them have been written in like the late 90s. Yeah. It's a process getting these movies up and running, these productions.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Like,
No, go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're fine.
I was gonna ask, what do you like most about production? Do you like writing more? Do you like directing? What's your...
I love writing and I love directing. Producing something, because that's more of like management, and I'm not the most put together person. I may look like it when I come in with my heels and my dress and my ponytail, but I'm like the most disorganized person. I love to do things on my own time. I love like just experiencing. I'm very like hippie like. So for someone to tell me I have this deadline, you have to calculate this amount of money, you have to scout this location, that, I'm like, huh? I want someone else to do that for me, and I want to show up on set and be like, okay, this goes there, that goes there, and like give people like, you know, what to do. Like I hate production.
That is a skill that I am trying to better develop.
Management,
because it's something not innate to my personality.
Listen.
So, especially with like certain creatives that I'm trying to work with, it takes a lot of planning.
Yeah.
And being very concise and data driven, and it is something that I am working on.
Listen, and I feel like nowadays, like if you want to work in these kind of fields, that's like a skill that you have to learn. If you don't want someone fucking... Sorry, can I go?
Correct.
Okay, if you don't want someone fucking with your money, or you don't want someone fucking with your time, like...
You have to be business savvy and have the smarts to like deal with these things.
And to manage and to calculate. And I was like, I just want to create. And then, you know, but then you don't make no money from that. And you don't manage any money from that.
You really don't.
So.
What is your so where are you going now? What are you doing in terms of putting your gift out there? Like, what is your medium now?
My medium, definitely still creative directing, first and foremost. I really want to, there's a list of things I want to do. I want to curate a fashion show. I would love to curate a magazine. Continue doing music videos. Love that. Love directing music videos. Anything I can kind of put my hands on and put whatever's inside my head out into the world. You know, that's my main thing. I mean, this journey has taken me so many different places. Like you wouldn't believe well, I didn't think I was gonna end up in all these different places, but like, you know, so I'm just riding along to see where else I go. Hope that makes sense.
I feel that, especially following you on like social media, you've been to places, you've done things, definitely. I'm like, okay, Shyann, I see you, girl.
And to me, I feel like that's not like, to me, I'm like, ugh, that's not where I wanted to be. You know, that's just places that I ended up. You know.
So you want to have like more control over where you end up, basically, what you do.
Yeah.
Would you ever, so you want to be presented with these projects so you can put your flair and you know what to do in these projects that you're presented, right?
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's very wordy.
No, yeah. I mean, I want people to see a commercial, see a music video, and be like, Shyann Douglass did that. She directed that. Have my own style, and like, you know, you see a magazine and be like, oh, that's Shyann Douglass did that, you know, or style a model and be like, okay, I've seen that somewhere before. Just kind of create my own culture of a style of something, you know.
That's dope. So would you ever want to like create your own situation, like maybe through YouTube, create your own little series, or instead of being presented with these projects, create your own situation? Are you more of like that, or do you want to like manage other projects through your lens?
Because I mean, in my, like, for fun, I curate my own stuff. Like, I'm sure you'll see me, like, you know, collaging my own selfies on like Instagram, or like I'll be in my living room and I'll be in like different clothes, just trying out things, different camera angles, colors, edits. Like, that's what I do for fun. But I would love to be on a team and have other people, because I'm really, like, at this stage, like, I really believe in collaboration. Like, that's what gets productions out there and for it to be its best that it could be, you know?
Having a team is everything.
Yes.
There's no, I mean, never say never, you know what I mean? Like, there's always, I'm pretty sure there's going to be somebody who does it by themselves and just proves me wrong. But like, for the majority of cases, you can't, it's almost impossible to do it by yourself at this point, because you cannot be jack of all trades, because you're going to be master of none. If you have to stick to your lane, and then you have to create this network around you of people that you trust to create this vision of yours, because it's almost impossible.
Listen, and I almost feel like people that do it by themselves are restricting themselves, because I don't care who the person, maybe Albert Einstein, like you might think you're the smartest person, the most abstract person, but the more brains, the better. I generally believe that. The more people, the more inputs, the more times you're editing and you're thrashing out ideas, the better the production, because there could be like a life skill that I've learned, and you know, I see the visual or I see the production and I catch it just because of like you know, this experience that I've had before, and then we can switch it from that. I don't know if it makes sense, but different perspectives like change the fluctuation of like the production piece. I think that's what I'm trying to say. My brain's like but like just the more brains the better.
And you also see this sort of situation in writing rooms. It takes from writing lyrics to scripting and writing shows and movies, the amount of writers in these projects and the amount of like people coming together.
If you sit down and at the end of a movie and just watch the credits roll by,
it takes a village.
Listen, just this person, this one, AD, PA, this assistants for this, and then regular people for that, and then like this, and then that, and then this. Like, there's so many. Yeah,
it really does take a village to create like something worthwhile. You know what I mean? Something that's great. How? So, do you? Before this panini that we've been going through.
Not the panini, listen. The paradox, yes.
Yes. Oh, I hate this paradox. Were you more active? Because I've been getting to this thing of asking people how they were before, during, and now like hopefully at the end.
Right? After, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, now that we're adjusted.
Yeah, like your communication with people and your projects that you're working on, how have they been impacted?
Before the pandemic, that's when I was like 6 months into this career. I've always been a creative, but my career-wise, where it really kind of cultivated. And then just like last February, I got 2 internships.
Ooh.
So I did not expect this pandemic to just kind of crash the parade. Thankfully, it didn't stop anything.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't stop anything. If anything, it made me more creative, and it made me sit back and reevaluate what I value. And I really, truly value the art through everything. Like, I was in my room just creating, and I was so happy during quarantine. So happy. I was on live, I was drinking, I was painting, I was like cutting shit up and throwing on the wall. I was just living my best fairy tale life. And then towards the summer, where everyone fake opened everything up, I was still, you know, thriving with my internship. You know, I got to travel to LA, like, you know,
really?
Within the restrictions, but I got to still work on sets and still be the assistant that I could be. So it didn't stop anything. If anything, it made me sit back and think and reevaluate and what's more important, what's not. You know, anything can happen, just adjust to it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It seems to be like a theme of people just sitting back and really reevaluating where they are and what they value.
Yes.
Because, I had similar experiences as well. That's what lit this fire under me. Because, like, I was definitely not living what, like, I could have been, you know what I mean? In terms of what I could have been doing.
Yeah.
And what So specifically for you, because I remember back in the day we were working, doing your whole retail situation.
Shout out to Aeropostale. I only worked there for like 3 weeks, but you know, we're not going to talk about that.
Was there a situation that sort of said, okay, I am not, like, there's nothing else that I would ever want to do in my life. Like, I got to do this. Like, how did you stumble upon making this a career, I guess? Like, was there a moment before that you weren't, like, doing it and, like, you're not trying to fit in this big scheme that is our society, but, like, were you doing something different? And then, like...
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, for sure. I thought I was going to be an expressive art therapist for married couples.
Oh, wait, what is that?
Yes, like, just using creative arts as therapy for couples. That was my idea. I was like, I'm gonna open my own business. I'm gonna do therapy for couples. Whole trauma behind that. My parents like separated, and I was like, I just must make a change in this world. Then I realized your life is for you, and you have to live for you, and you have your own purpose. You don't try to mend whatever happened in the past for your family. You know, that's not your purpose. And I went to straight after high school. I was working at TGI Fridays for like 3 years, and just hustling. And I went to England, where I was raised. And then I did like a short course at City University, and it was an art course for business. I still thought I was going to be in arts, but like, you know, just like, I'll just add that to the therapy thing. And then I came back to America. I went to CCM. I had the worst experience ever.
Really?
And that was the pinnacle moment where I was like, fuck this shit. I have to live for me. Yeah. You know, I have to live for me. And yeah, I mean, it's worked out pretty okay. Like each year, like, I'm very thankful. But like each year, it's just been like more and more stuff thrown at me, and which has been really. It should have been tough, but it ended up just kind of catapulting me towards my purpose, my higher good. So I've been very grateful for that.
That's great. I am with you. I think a lot of creatives too, because we're so taught that you should have a real job.
Listen.
No, doctor, lawyer, teacher, therapist, etc., that we try to merge what we really want to do in life with these real jobs. Yeah. And then just ends up like making you miserable.
And there's no guidelines for us.
There really isn't.
Like in school, like I had no idea what a creative director was. That's why I chose because I knew I loved all the arts. I loved everything about visual arts, performing arts, and I was like, I'm a trained dancer. I love music. I love writing. I can use this to heal people like it's healed me. So I thought therapy. And then the more you're out in the world, you're realizing, oh, there's these different jobs, like creative director. I was like, what the fuck is that? And that's, you know, all the arts in one, and you get to like produce stuff and still make an impact and heal people. So
I think it's funny too when people say like, yo, get a real job. Like, you don't listen to music. You know you have a favorite artist.
You watch movies, you watch commercials, you do your makeup, the creatives inspire the entire world. Artists inspire the world.
You're wearing clothes. Who designed that, baby?
Listen, there's a whole, like, everything. Yeah. Even the roads you drive on, there's an artist behind that.
Period. The buildings that you walk into, somebody
designed that. Listen, without art, there would be nothing.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to really fund these projects, fund these arts education in schools, because it is something very important to our society too, as we thrive and as we grow. Because really, creatives and from music and television and movies, a lot of us drive the narrative of our society. You know what I mean? A lot of us, see what's wrong and put that in our art and really strive for change doing so. Yeah. So it's something very important.
Yeah. I always say to people, art is political.
Yeah.
Art is political. And I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people don't want to fund it. Because it's so political, and it does change people's minds. In film school, one of my professors had said how filmmakers are just master manipulators.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's the reason why I went to film school, but we have so much power as a director or as a filmmaker to transform someone's mindset of society, as you said, like who we see as beautiful, who we see as ugly, and how we see, you know, what's the villain and who's the protagonist and all this stuff. Like we really shape.
Especially this new for the past, I want to say the past decade, starting like the early 10s too, this movement towards body positivity and these new creatives that went into this field this past decade that really shaped the narrative of what is really beautiful, what is really accepted. Like the arts in general, from music, like I said, to movies, to commercials even, to fashion and design. That's power. It's a lot of power to really make a change, hopefully for the positive.
Listen, exactly. And
it is something very powerful. Now, where are you going, baby? Where do you see yourself in, let's say, 5 years?
5 years?
Yeah.
Definitely traveling and working. That's literally the one thing that I promised myself. Traveling and working. Definitely directing, being on different people's photo shoots, being immersed in the fashion industry and the music industry and entertainment industry, like all of that I want to be just immersed in, and globally, hopefully.
Period. That's beautiful. And if you had a piece of advice for these youngins or whoever may be listening or watching, if you're watching, please like and subscribe on YouTube. Wink, wink. Ooh. So if you have a piece of advice for these people really trying to create the life they envisioned for themselves in a world where, you know, you're told to do this, that, and the third, what would be this piece of advice?
You can try to do this, that, and the third, and follow a path that is not yours, but your spirit will reject it. Your spirit will reject it, and everything will come together. But if you continue to just kind of walk this path that's not meant for you, it's going to be hell. So you might as well just follow your heart. Might as well just follow your heart, and everything will fall in place. Don't worry about the resources. Don't worry about, you know, if other people around you can't see your vision, because trust me, no one around you is going to see your vision. They're going to think you're crazy. I spent many years on Instagram, you know, people were like, oh, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? And I looked crazy. I looked crazy. There's going to be times when you look crazy, but it molds you and it changes you, and you end up where you're supposed to be. And some people like it, and some people support it, and some people still think you're crazy. So live your life.
Yeah, and I think something that you said too, you gotta live for yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do this, always be assessing why you're doing what you're doing. And I think a lot of clarity can come from doing so. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this beautiful episode with the, again, like I said previously, immaculate Shyann.
You're making me blush.
And, you know, her socials are going to be somewhere on the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. And give her a follow. Book her. She knows exactly what she's doing.
I've been trained in many places. I might fuck up a little bit, but I'll get you where you want to go.
Period. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and see you on the next one.
Thank you.